Okay. Today's assignment for you is REST versus SOAP. Okay. Okay. And now we discuss about Mule event and Mule architecture, Mule message flow. So Mule message is nothing but a event-driven architecture. Mule. Okay. And within Mule or flow in today's uh, technologies, we are calling the business data as payload. Okay. And within Mule, whenever the event starts or flow starts, we consider the payload and we consider the event as a message. Each and every event we will consider it as a mule message, and mule message contains the different parts. Like for example, if we see this diagram, there is a message object, mule message object, and mule message object contains different parameters like mule message and the payload, and it also can have variables, attachments, and exception payload. This is the mule message structure. Structure means within mule message you can have payload, which is a main business data, and it can have headers. Headers means some additional properties. It can be headers, or it can be a query parameters, it can be URI parameters. All that information will get as a message within message. And within the message object, mule message object, mean whenever we create a flows, there will be a scope to define and create the variables. So the variables also comes under the mule message structure. And even we may receive the attachments. It is nothing but uh, if any flow starts or anyone is going to consume our endpoints, they can have the facility to send the attachments as well. So we can even access the attachments within mule flow. And if any exception occurs within the flow, it will raise a exception or error, and that we are calling it as exception payload. Explain me what is the exception. Exception is a error message. Let me open the mail message. Yeah, the earlier one we discussed was Mule 3 message structure, and in Mule 4 it is even simplified. And Mule 4 it is every message will come as a event driven architecture. Every message is an event, and to access the headers, query parameters, or URI parameters, we can refer them using the attributes within the flow, and the payload will be referred by using payload keyword. And one more thing is that we will send the response with the status codes, which will Let know the consumer applications. What is the status of the response? Whether it is failed or whether it is success. So the default success response codes for HTTP service are 200, 201, 202, and the error response codes are 400 bad request, 404. So in Mule 3, what is the message structure? Inbound properties, attributes, payload. Inbound properties, outbound properties, payload, variables, attachments, and exception payload. Okay. And here in Mule 3, we have variables categorized into three: flow variables, session variables, and record variables. Payload is business specific data. Inbound or outbound properties is additional properties to identify and okay. And so Mule 4 message structure contains attributes and payload. The attributes again are divided or can have headers, URI parameters, query parameters. Okay. Yeah. Here headers means it is some additional information along with payload. If you want pass the target system details, where you need to send the data, to which system you need to connect while processing the event. So that kind of information you will be passing through headers. And URI parameters is it is within your URL. Within URL, you need to pass some dynamic value while accessing the endpoint. Headers is additional information to specify the target system and identify the transaction between source and target. So sometimes we might need to track the event. So to track the event, we expect some information from source system so that whether the transaction was failed or if there is any exception occurred, we can track that event by using those IDs. And URI parameter is, it is a dynamic value that we need to pass. For example, so here URI parameter is employee ID. But while consuming the application, we need to specify for which employee we need to get the records or you need to update the record. So this 0578 will become the URI parameter. URI parameter of employee ID. And query parameter is to filter the data. It is an additional information to filter the fetched data. For example, within these employees, you are fetching an employee's record, employee's set of data, but you want to restrict the information just for a particular department. You want only for uh, maybe health department data is needed, health department employees data. So what you will do, you are going to access the employees resource with department value health. By specifying this information, you are saying that and you are sending this information to some service while consuming the endpoint. So they will make use of this query parameter and filter the data and they will give the response to you. Okay, and payload means it is a business specific data as we discussed, and while consuming the services, REST services, we have there will be request payload. It is the same, but when you are consuming application, you need to send some data sometimes. So that will become a request payload. So by seeing the above one, request payload, can you explain me the response payload definition? So we are saying what is request payload? Request payload means you are consuming one application and you need to send some data. That will become your request payload. Okay. Now I would like to know what is response payload. What is my response? Input to send the data, output will come in the response. Yeah. So the one which you are sending or which you are giving as input is a request, and the one that you will get or whatever the output of that particular request will become the response. Now we have attributes, payload, request payload, response payload. And there is one more thing, variables. In generally, what is meant by variable? Variable is a uh, having a nature that can change dynamically throughout the life cycle. Till the existence of that particular variable, the value can be changed. The value of element varies or changing throughout the program or flow. That will become the variable. Okay. And within Mule flow, we have these variables. Likewise, earlier, flow variable, session variable, and record variables, which were there in Mule 3. We do not have multiple variables in Mule 4. We have only one, and that variables can be defined as by using a set variable component, and we can access them by using vars keyword. Okay, now we'll go to the topics. Main message have these payload attributes, attachments, and so this is what is a Mule event and Mule event structure. Mule message or event. If do you want me to just to repeat? Yes. It's an overview once again. Simple overview. Forgot about the Mule 3 messages. Better you can comment it or you can remove. It's better, I think so. Okay. What confusion in this present Mule 3 or Mule 4? We are focusing only on Mule 4. Just to differentiate what were there and what it has been transformed in Mule 4 is. Some people are using on APS Mule 3. Why? Why means they are still using it and the business was already implemented on it. They don't want to move right now. Okay, what is event and what is payload? What is payload? This collection the business content or data. What are the attributes? Yeah, that's no connection. Yeah, that's a payload. URI parameter by the parameter.